We'll probably do some kind of, grand opening in the spring when all the fences aren't all going to come down yet because they want the grass to have longer to get established. Yeah, so really excited to have two amazing people with us today who do so much for our community. Um, we thought it was important for you to hear a little bit about our Readiness to Learn program as well as our McKinney Vento program. Mary Michell is the coordinator for our McKinney Vento, and she'll tell you a little bit about that. That is a what's the word I'm looking for? It's the state requires that every school district have a McKinney-Vento program to support students who don't have stable housing. And then Cailyn Murray is our Readiness to Learn person who does so many good things for the community. So I'm excited to hear from them. And then we should have time at the end if people have questions or we want to just talk about school things. So take it away, ladies. Oh, let's do introductions real quick first. Christy? Richards, principal.
Todd Williams. I have a third grader, a fourth grader, and a 10th grader.
Awesome. Yeah.
Thank you all for being here. Like Susie said, I'm Mary Michell. I'm the McKinney. And it's actually a federal program to help unstably housed students, trying to give them a little extra. On to slide 1, what is McKinney Vento? It's just students that are lacking a fixed nighttime residence. And so that's, it's really a broad, because you want to look at case by case. Like, what does adequate mean? Adequate will often mean in this term, like, there's it's but it means like doubled up with family or friends, so that can either be just the child living with family members, an aunt, a grandma, an uncle. Also mean a whole family. Child can be living with their parents, but if the parents are living with the grandparents or friends, because they can't afford or anywhere in the world, then they're considered unstably housed and they have access to this. RVs that aren't meant to be lived in your had youth that had to camp. Or if they're living at the harbor. All of those eligible for this.
My house gets messy now and then. who fills that gap between what you're talking about at, you know,
Yeah,
up to
yeah.
where CPS might get involved or
So the issue with CPS, they would be considered.
And
so, but the house is a.
Right.
They
Right.
wouldn't have a problem moving into it. It's not.
But-
It's treated.
But the children, don't get to rule.
and
They could come to.
and then it's like in our partnership with Mary's role with the school district and Readiness to Learn's role, if for some reason they didn't qualify for McKinney Vento programming, then we would be able to still work with that family with Readiness to Learn and offer other supports that may or may not be helpful to the family. It's up to them to decide. But
My program, the McKinney Vento program, it's a federally funded program and I do have to identify. But many families choose. So as far as the rights that these families are entitled to, the biggest one really is staying in the school of. Have a family that's bouncing around between on whether it's the best interest of the child, and they have the right to kindergartner were to move to Oak Harbor, probably not in their best interest hour each way. But if you have a high schooler who's all of their friends and they've gone here their whole life and they just are really out their education, then it's in their best interest to be transferred. That's one of the bigger ones.
they're automatically entitled to be enrolled if they are missing documentation like sports, and then Mary works with them to connect with those things that are, if you've just moved kind of suddenly between districts or whatever, it's hard then to be like, oh, now I have to find my birth certificate and medical records. But to stabilize the experience for the kids, they can immediately be enrolled. And then also
Yeah, we kind of.
free and reduced lunch is a part of it.
This slide isn't really, let's move
Yeah,
on.
we might have skipped ahead.
Here we go.
There we go,
This is
yay.
This is the one that I started talking about. This is the know your rights. So the transportation we talked about, the documents, Cailyn talked about, receiving free school meals without having to fill out that paperwork. Applies through the extra support for youth who are on their own, whether they're actually, living with friends or family. I mean, some kids are bouncy, older kids can be bouncy. Family and younger kids can be living, not maybe a legal or an unaccompanied youth. And then this is the unaccompanied youth. Living with relative caregivers or non-relative caregivers. couch surfing or being complete. Pretty rare for us on South Whidbey. In our district, we do.
Yeah.
And provides extra support.
And we used to have an elementary McKinney
Yeah.
Vento liaison, and the state or the feds, I'm not sure which, changed their model to where they wanted to focus on older students for graduation. So that was a huge loss for us.
Funding.
The funding
not
too.
that's what I mean, that
And
they,
then
the funding didn't come
Even
through
Jenny's
for.
position was like the funding was cut basically in half. So Readiness to Learn
Actually,
works a third. Yeah.
Yeah.
Work
So-
to the work she does is really impactful for our community. We've had a 100% graduation rate for kids who are unstably housed for the past 4, 5, 6 years. And statewide, it's like
Before we had this program, before we had this academic, for that program, the graduation rate for unstably housed seniors was with the support of a person. So she's housed at the high school, has a little office, the kids out to them, she interacts with the teachers. We have another slide that talks a little bit more
Yeah.
about what she does.
But
it
it's
really is
incredible.
amazing.
Yeah.
And we used to have that at the elementary school where we had an academic coach housed here, and she would interact with the kids, a social emotion part for all those kids.
How many students would you say are on your MV list for elementary, and then total for South Whidbey, Mary?
Total South Whidbey at this point for students that are enrolled in this, half of which are.
And then you track community-wide,
And
which
then
includes babies.
community-wide with babies, toddlers, preschool. I think 130.
That's
South.
Put that in perspective. Question, I just want to be sure on that last line. So in our school,
So in our district, or in every school district,
The way it, sorry.
yeah, no, go
The way
ahead.
it looks in some districts, like it's Mary's entire job and the district allocates so much to pay for Mary. But in some districts, it's like it would also be Christy's job or like, or, or like the front desk lady. So they have a
Yeah.
big full job
Yeah.
and,
Some people
then-
only have maybe 2 or 3 hours a week to make sure they get free lunch.
she's a
She's a readiness.
She's a
Right,
readiness
yeah.
to learn. So Mary's is school district employee. Me and Jenny are Readiness to Learn employees.
So, well, none of this is coming from the school.
Part of
All
Mary's.
part of
Mary.
theirs?
Well,
Okay.
it's, my salary is coming from the school budget through,
But
we
you're
love
still
her.
a nonprofit that people can donate.
Yeah,
That's kinda what I'm
Readiness
trying
to
get
Learn.
to is
Okay.
where's the line? Because we don't donate to the
That's,
school, we donate to the
yeah,
Readiness to Learn.
Readiness to Learn, and we donate.
right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the picture.
And that's why Jenny is housed through Readiness. Anyway, let's move on to, the academic coach. I did already just talk about this. This is the many hats that Jenny wears. Environments, emotion, AFSA. Every high school senior will get a letter saying if they're an unaccompanied homeless youth, that will give them full. And she helps with basic food. If you have any questions or you one who might be in this situation. All right, you know what? That's okay. We don't really need.
Are there any other questions about McKinney Vento and Mary's?
First, thanks for all that you do. It's amazing. I just had a question for like the school. How do you work with the teachers then to help identify those children? Hi there.
A lot of the way that, that's the partnership between Ready. I'm half-time with the school district. I can widely expand. Back to school program. That's often how we identify. So that's a big part of it.
And from the school perspective, Mary sends us a list every month, is it? And we look and we make sure that teachers are aware and that they can ask for resources for those students or ask for counseling support or whatever it is.
Teachers will often identify as.
Yes, it goes both ways. We identify, yep.
Travel trailer.
No, and for us, sorry, just wanted to say real quick, building relationships with families is for me what feels like the number one priority in the school in terms of building that trust and safety and partnering with these amazing ladies to to find out what the needs are for families. We had a call yesterday with a mom. She's got a 9-month-old and a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. And doing her very best, but she has some needs, and then we get back in touch. So it's an ongoing conversation for sure. Somebody had a question, Ashley.
So for being able to satisfy those needs, there might be multiple platforms, but is it typically then those resources that are requested, is it then just communicated through the school of, hey, these are the needs, if any parents can provide that physical item, or is it grant money, or is it we can donate as parents? Like, how do we help support those needs?
In the readiness to
Get
learn.
the readiness to learn
Yeah.
part. Yeah, good question though. Thank you for asking.
As a social worker, I think of myself as a bridge between students, home, the school, and then community supports.
Here at Mount Si High School, we've kind of created a network of offices around me, like a safe landing place and a safe space. A lot of McKinney Vento kids make their way down here. Kids need to know that there's going to be a caring, responsible adult, and we're here to support you and get you through to the next thing. Yeah, so over here we have clothing and like a bunch of toiletries and shoes.
And a lot of dry snacks for students. The school often is the only consistent place a student might have. Kids know what time they need to be here, what time it ends. They know that it's warm. They know who's going to be here. They know what their schedules are. They know when food is going to be provided, when they're going to have breaks. They know the expectations, what they can and can't do. And when they leave, life might not look as consistent for them.
If I could say one thing to students who are homeless, you've got people that are in your corner, that are cheering you on, and that want to see you succeed in doing the things that bring you joy in life.
That I hadn't watched that before. I do feel like I was on vacation. When the senior
Being
parade
educated
goes through town, I feel
liaison,
like
you learn on
the
the
work
go,
of
and you
Readiness
have to
to
be
Learn
open and
really
flexible to continue
shines
learning
when we
every
are just
day.
in the background connecting parents to the resources
I was
so
an
we can
unaccompanied youth
provide
high
a
school myself, and
childhood
now
for
that
their kids through their childhood. And so we love seeing the senior parade go by, and many of the students have no idea the work we've done, or that they don't recognize me, they don't recognize Mary. Maybe if they came to help decorate the holiday house when they were in middle school. But we know we've impacted their life in this incredible way with the support we've been able to offer, which we're able to offer because of the community's support we receive, like donations at Holiday House for back to school, signing up to be a sustaining donor. That's all really helpful to Readiness to Learn, and make sure that kids and families can have as normalized of a life as possible, despite all the hard things. Yeah. Yeah. So I work for Readiness to Learn. I'm the co-director. I started volunteering at Readiness to Learn once I was freed up and my kids were going to preschool. And one of the first ways I volunteered was at the it's called Tutor Time now, but it was called Homework Club in those days, and doing homework with middle school students, which is great. It's fun to do homework with kids you're not related to. And I don't know, I don't remember how to do fractions. Let's look it up and see. And many of those kids now are young adults, which is also really thrilling when you live and work in your community. So we have a family resource center, and but
Just Readiness to Learn is this overarching
yeah.
program that encompasses the Family Resource Center and also the South Whidbey Communities.
We have a presence at the South Whidbey Community Center where we, the vision was that the community center is like the family resource center on steroids. So if you've been to the community center, it's a place where families are welcome, people are celebrated, and there's all kinds of community partners who help make that a place where families can thrive. And some of the programs we're known for in the community are back to school and holiday house, which is coming up. And those are like free stores that are set up where parents make appointments to come shop for school supplies or holiday gifts. And if you know, feel free to grab some of these flyers because we have we can support parents with IEP or parent teacher conferences. Sometimes it's helpful just to have like another person with you during those. We have weekly tutoring called Tutor Time where kids are matched with a community volunteer, and they work in the same group all year. Jenny, our academic coach, also does. We try to skedaddle by the time because it's a lot of fun, but it's hard to do other work while they're there. We do the community center front desk, and we have for the past 5 years done summer fun programming, and we're funded by grants and donations, and we work with the school district and community partners. So the Family Resource is a program of Readiness to Learn. It's a place, but it's also a way of working together. We remove barriers and solve problems so kids are ready to learn. And as we mentioned, like we can't force anybody to, like we are here to we listen to families and respond to what their interests are. So if we are thinking that something would be better for a family, it doesn't really matter. We want to listen to the family and see what they want to do. And then, so our work is really individualized and responsive to what families are up to.
I like to imagine like walking alongside the parent
Yeah.
and just, offering advice when they ask. Not like we're telling them. Out of this, or if you're
And we have we're experts on local community resources and how to access them. So if you are facing food insecurity for the first time, you might forget that, oh yeah, Good Cheer is here or Win is here. And so we can help connect families.
because people don't really know what's out there. And you're got laid off for 2 months because the government down, and you're like, gosh, I've never been in this. Kind of freak out. So we're really a hub. The Family Resource Center is a hub of all those communities. Healthcare, transportation. Access those programs. Sign up for Whidbey Islander.
So people can come, the Family Resource Center is open and has regular hours, but it's fun. It's hard to go somewhere and ask for help, especially if you don't know us or.
Can I share something really quick?
Yeah.
We're so fortunate here because this used to be a state fund, was Readiness to Learn. It was a state funded program back in the 90s when I was teaching at the middle school. And the model was, so it was all over the state, and the model was that they would create these care teams for families, and the care teams were made up of a teacher, whoever the family wanted to be there. And it was the most respectful, respectful is the word I guess I come up with, way to support families. Well, that funding went away, but our community, the Gail Levasseurs and these ladies and Diane Watson, and some of the old timers said, we can't let this program go, and put a nonprofit together. And are you 100% grant funded at this point and donations?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no
Our Gail,
competitive grants.
Gail
Thanks
and
to Gail.
and these other people in our community who because I was just talking to a woman who was called to volunteer this week, and she used to be a school counselor in Puyallup, and she was like, "Oh yeah, Readiness to Learn." She's retired. My school has had one too, and then she was looking for our website, and she was like, "Well, is this your website or is this like another Readiness to Learn website?" And I was like, "There are not any more Readiness to Learns. We are the one." Where they were all over the state. I did my internship through a Readiness to Learn in school in like in Whatcom County, and those are all gone. But our community values taking care of kids and families, and that's of course what makes it so special here.
This is a great way to.
Yeah.
In terms of, and your question as well, in terms of like school district. Because Readiness to Learn partners with the school. Holiday House program is pretty. Back to school is pretty. Try to do rate.
We probably call you guys at least a couple times a month. Hey, do you have a size 7 rain boots? They're there in half an hour. You know, it's just
Yeah.
such a gift for us.
And so any type of donations that you make to Readiness.
We are supported locally by the Would-Be Community Foundation very generously through like their competitive grants, but also people who have endowments. So that's another great way to encourage people to share resources. Yeah.
So yeah, basically it's, and if you wanted.
Our website, it'll
Take you to the website.
yeah, and then you can email us anytime.
Yeah.
A follow-up question. Is there an ongoing list, maybe it's on the website, items you need or back to school or just always need bogs, like, or, you know, like any type of.
We're every person we work with, it's all super responsive and individualized. So we do always have a stock of school supplies and backpacks. We do, and then for Holiday House, the fun thing is like any gift you can think of any child ever wanting to receive, we can accept that because it's set up like a store.
I mean, right now, is our big push. Like, we're in the midst of Holiday House right now. I think I just spent.
You do not.
I just spent well, I better not say.
You can say.
Okay. Anyway, we spent a lot of money on gifts yesterday, and it's ongoing. Last year, I think we. Anyway. I'm lost.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
We-
this is
where
one
I
of the,
was
your
trying to
question is
go.
not a simple question to answer.
Yeah.
And I have worked really hard with boxes of almost new, trying to find some place to donate them. Very few places to take them. The whole concept is if we had a clearinghouse website group or whatever, you could go take all your good stuff that's still reusable. Literally what I had to do, I filled entirely up with boxes of kids' clothes. I had to take them up to Oak Harbor and I gave them to somebody. And so that your question is not, it is hard to figure out where to go. It is hard to figure out if I want to donate cash, okay, who do I send the money to that supports what I want to support the most? well, I want to support everything, right? And so you have, that's a really hard question to answer. It's been a topic I think we covered in here. It's just trying to find that website or whatever you can go to, so all the different resources. You guys handle some of the stuff at the House of Hope. Well, geez, the House of Hope is run by the Would-Be Homeless Coalition, which is, you know, separate from Ryan's house, which is, I mean, trying to figure out how all this stuff fits together.
Here's our website, and this is financially. Wanted to donate items, you could. Holiday House, we.
What about volunteering for Holiday House? Is that still,
Yeah, there's on the Holiday House, I think now it does fill up really fast.
On the volunteers, it says, please sign.
Yeah,
And it might be close.
it's
to
pretty
being
close to full.
We,
Yeah.
that's not nearly as fun as wrapping presents.
We opened the volunteer registration 2 days ago, and it's really fun. And
it's such an amazing experience.
Yeah.
I don't do it anymore because, you know,
Yeah.
but back in the day, it's so cool.
But we
If you even
do
get a chance to visit it.
Have an open house on
Good.
Friday, December 5th for any.
Yeah, from 5:30 to 7:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
Cool.
wanted to stop in and see it.
Amazing.
Because so often people,
See it.
and they're like, oh my God, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Because it's
It's really a store.
nice.
It's like a store that's full of all the things that, not all of the things. We don't have electric scooters or, you know, we keep away from video games.
and they're so hard to,
That stuff is so
yeah.
expensive. I mean, typically our holiday house program. One of the main gifts is like popular, that would count as 2. Fun to see it in action.
Is there an opportunity to have your family volunteer with you, like having kids? I know there's probably some sensitivity around that, but Okay.
The chance that kids have to volunteer comes when they're in middle school and they come with their class to set up. And that's been going on for, 20 years. And so, because there is sensitivity, like almost for sure they'll see someone they know, and it just feels better to not have kids in there. Every once in a while, one sneaks in.
Usually an older.
Yeah, sometimes an
Yeah.
older.
So we do have the middle schoolers coming, like 30 middle schoolers will be coming on December 1st. They'll be doing that initial decorating, helping.
Some National Honor
the
Society
Honor
students.
Society
They do
students
like
coming
some
through.
finish work after the middle schoolers work their magic. Yeah.
So then fingers crossed by that Friday night open house.
It'll be
We'll
looking
be
good.
ready.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that's another thing.
That's a way that kids can get involved, is doing a toy drive or a stocking stuffer drive or a wrapping paper drive, even a candy drive. We don't like with our donations, we don't love buying candy with it, but we love having candy there. So those kind of things that make holiday special, and things like wrapping paper or candy, they're accessible for everybody to like contribute a little bit.
And then one of the things to know too is that the Toys for Tots on South Whidbey, all of those boxes do come to us.
Uh,
made that commitment.
A nice thing about our program, and it's really a model of all the work we do, is that parents come and pick what their kids like. And in many communities, the Toys for Tots works that someone calls and they're like, we have a boy who's 14, we need toys. And then a Toys for Tots person finds toys for boys who are 14. And that's, we did that too during the pandemic. We had to be like, Mary liked it, kind of, and it was stressful to be like a boy who's 4 who likes green, and then just have a room full of toys to try and pack that bag. That was hard and stressful. I mean, people were also grateful, but it wasn't as good as it is in our like.
Parents able to like come in and just. Sometimes they'll say, oh yeah, here's an idea of what my kids would want. But by the time they come in and they're looking, they're like, oh, well, they'd really.
So we're fortunate to partner with the Toys for Tots in our community in that way, and they're just lovely to work with. And if you know anybody who who would like to be a Toys for Tots volunteer, I think that would be helpful too,
Yeah,
because
low on
they're
volunteers.
yeah, they're impactful. Yeah. Are kind of the things that guide us. Yeah, we don't need
We went off script.
yeah, we
Summer fun.
yeah,
Summer fun.
We're-
probably won't
we are
summer.
trying to see if that's a gap in our community still, because maybe we'll do a survey to find out, because that's a newer program to us. It started during the pandemic when there weren't other summer camps or other opportunities, but there's so much more now. So after Holiday House, we're going to try to connect with other summer camp providers to see what's available and because I think there's a lot of, you mentioned the Boys and Girls Club is opening a South Woodby Center. So that's
Talk about
a
that,
big,
yeah.
and then yeah, the Whidbey Island language, and they have scholarships available. And the Camp Casey is I think that's going to be a game changer in our community. And so if they are able to do summer camp,
So one of the things
Yeah.
that Readiness to Learn really app, because kids home on their computer entire year having any social interaction, by that summer that was just a huge.
if someone else can do something better or more effectively, we have only been able really to do 10 to 2. And so it's not really filling a childcare gap, but it is a nice middle of the day break. And it's been able to be accessible through scholarships. And so we're figuring out if that's really a good fit for our community. It's been really fun though. It's right in the name, summer fun.
So one of the things that I experienced with I knew last summer, not that there was camps and that sort of thing, raising the money to do it.
Right.
And many of them did not start at 8 o'clock and go to 4 o'clock. So
Yeah.
therefore, how do I get my kid in and out of this thing? Parent who's retired, trying to get a kid to, a 10 o'clock thing that starts in Coopville and then go picking them up at 3 o'clock in Coopville was a challenge. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're doing that survey, I think it's not just what activities there are out there.
No.
What are the logistics
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of the people I talked to knew anything about. That might be something that just needs.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions for us? Bulk of our work.
So much that you do for our families. Thank you very, very much. And yeah, we couldn't do it without you, really, on so many levels, you know. Appreciate you.
We
can-
love.
After Holiday House, I usually like. But that only, then I get a week
You
or
have a
two off
a
and-
little break and come back ready to
Right.
Ready to do it
finish
again.
up this school year.
Yep.
We do end up, last year, we served 178 families. Our Holiday House program. We're super non-judgmental. We don't ask.
Thank you, ladies. Appreciate you. I just wanted to share, if you don't mind me jumping into something else, unless anybody had questions. Just there was a mention of Boys and Girls Club, and I kind of wanted to update you on what was going on there. So the Coopville branch of Boys and Girls Club is run by Snohomish County Boys and Girls Club, but they started a branch up there. And I don't know, about 4 or 5 months ago, they started realizing that we have more students participating down here on the south end than they do in Coopville, where the main program is. And so the head of the program in Snohomish County reached out to us saying that they would be interested in starting an official South Woodby branch. And we met with them a few days ago and pounded out the MOU, the what's that, Memorandum of Understanding. So they're going to continue on. Chance, if any of you know Chance, will be the South Woodby director of the program. They're really committed to looking for a permanent home, but they're going to continue to be on the South Campus. In the meantime, they'll definitely be doing, like, next week during parent-teacher conferences. They'll be running during some of the holidays, school holidays, not winter break. But yeah, we're just really, really excited that they're going to be here and hope they find a permanent home. Yes, I will. Because I know they were very close to getting a space with you last year at the community center.
Yeah, somebody had called and they couldn't.
Yeah, it's kind of a transition time right now because Coopville is kind of, yeah. So that's really exciting news. Yay. Yep. Any questions? Yes, yes. And last summer they ran it, but people had to drive their kids up there to Coopville, or they had a little bus, and it was just a lot. So we're super excited. It will be here. Yeah. I can't believe how many families take advantage of it, especially after school and on Wednesdays, especially. There's a line. And they do a really great job with them. Questions? Anybody have just general school? I want to give a big shout out to some of the ladies that are here that have started coming in on Fridays once a month and doing activities with our students. So thank you so much, Ashley and Liz. And if anybody's interested in helping out, do you want to say anything about what you guys did? It was so cool.
It was just so fun. We did just some games and yeah, just a huge shout out to and Susie eats lunch there daily, and it's a lot of great fun energy. So yeah, it was great. So if anyone else,
Like the last Friday of the month, I think you guys are.
I was gonna talk to you about rescheduling.
Yeah, this month is a little
and next
goofy.
month. So maybe we'll do the
I have to give you guys another big shout out because, we were doing movies and it was only 10 minutes, but it was still screens on Fridays. And, a group of families were like, we're not so sure if that's a great idea. Kids weren't eating their lunch was a big part of it. And, sometimes people share a concern, but they have no solutions. And you all stepped up with solutions and it just meant so much, to us. Thank you. Really, really means a lot. Yeah. And the kids are asking, when are they coming back? I'm like, well, they won't look like they looked
I
that
think
day
we
because they
were
were on
waiting 'cause
Halloween.
it was Halloween, so I think maybe that'll be our thing.
Yeah, you could still wear those costumes. Did you want to add anything, Ashley?
I think there was just a lot of lessons learned every time we did it. We found a new way of being efficient. But yeah, ton of fun. Excited for
Oh.
little activities. It's such a short time though, so you have to get really creative on
Yeah.
how to do something quick and get them all involved. Great.
Yeah, it was super cool. It's cute now. I don't know if you've been in there when we do the Golden Tray Award. A class is recognized. The cafeteria ladies choose a class and they get their table decorated, and then they get to have a talent show. So, but it's a spur of the moment talent show, and it's a lot of somersaults, a lot of little dance moves. It's very cute. If you ever around at lunch, check it out. Yeah, it's pretty fun. If you want to go check out the playground before you leave, feel free to walk out there. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Any other school related? Anna, do you want to talk a tiny bit about Orchestra? Yep.
My kindergartner, she likes to find all these excuses to stay up at night, but that's her excuse lately. Is she's like, Mom, can I just read this to you? I'm gonna have to turn on the light though so we can see it. And every night I'm like, I know what this says and I know you know, but she loves those little orca bucks so much to her.
I love it. I love it.
I have a question. Is anybody here in a SWEPTA person? I noticed that the Reflections program is going.
Yeah.
And I was so excited to have that be a part of what's going on. So
Kaylin was a PTA
I was
person for
deep
many,
in
many, many
SWEPTA
years.
for a long time.
Yeah, the Reflections is the art contest. If you haven't heard about it, okay. Liz, did you want to share?
It's actually, well, Faith, actually let me know there's the,
Oh, fireplace.
I might have missed it on parents. Okay, but I was wondering if there was gonna be, I don't come into the school up.
Good point. I will make sure we get something out.
I like, hey, pop in, or
Yep.
I would have known if it wasn't for.
Um,
Oh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna write notes so I don't forget that.
I turned my microphone on just to brag that I made that fireplace.
Aw.
I was so happy to see it when I was like, it's
I
maybe my
love
legacy.
Yes. I just can't believe SWEPTA is, it just was such a challenge after COVID. They lost their whole, PTA is like a very organized national, and they lost they had to reapply and do everything over again. And Megan Alder is really burned out. So if you know anybody, she's been there since COVID. So we're looking for people, but they do so much. They just paid for Taproot Theater. I don't know if anybody was there for that. The science van, I mean, so many things they do for us. They give us money for field trips. We lost all that money from the state grants for field trips and outdoor ed, and they're giving us thousands of dollars for bus transportation costs. So even if you can't go to meetings, join. Be sure and join. Oh, Schools Foundation. I know. We're just so fortunate in this community. It's like, for me personally, it's like, the world and everything that's going on. It's like, for me, how I deal with it is vroom, right here. And we're so fortunate in this.
Just a comment on the SWEPTA. I know I had talked with a friend who talked with someone in SWEPTA, and she mentioned all of the funding and where it goes towards, which I hadn't known and was really an advocate for. Even if you don't have the time to go to all the meetings, make sure you donate. And I don't know if there's a way to just heighten that communication of here are the specific things that it does fund, because that changed my whole mentality. Before I was like, oh, I just don't have the time. But just knowing,
Right.
oh, the funding is such a big part of it that allows that creativity in the school and support of so many events. Like, that was really helpful to hear.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great idea. We meet with them like once a month. And so that I will definitely share that. Yeah, between the SWEPTA and the Schools Foundation, we could not do so much of what we do without that support. All right, that's all I've got. Thank you. Really means a lot when you all show up. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Yep, 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 yep. And if you're interested, by the way, we're going to start the principal. My position will open in January. We'll probably start doing interviewing in February, and we'll have a couple parent representatives and community representatives. So just let Dr. Clifford or Christy know if you'd be interested in being involved in the process. Thank you. Thank you. I know. I'm not.